Well, it looks like Oreo Manuel and the rest of the J community is quiet on this one, along with the AAIP community. And it took me a while to find these articles, because more than one article, and look at most of these articles, they're silent on it. They don't really give you too much about the man, except for this it. Give you his name, no info. This one's more some kind of board. It's called Sunny Board Times. This one right here from I-24 News, and don't give you no information on the guy. They give you his name, anti-Semitic LA man charged with hate crime in the shooting of 2 Jewish men. Nothing really goes on right there. Now you must have an article. And here's another one come from the Sunny Board Times. It's more like a blog post. That's about it. Give you a picture of the man, what he looks like. You see he's an Asian guy. New article, just people talking. This from NBC, PalmSprings.com, some kind of news site by them. And you look at, they call him a Riverside resident charged in the shooting of 2 outside LA synagogues, so I say. And they tell his age, a 28-year-old man, former Riverdale, no resident suspect. That's all it did. And they say he's charged with 2 federal hate crime counts. Now, this is article come from some website called heavy.com. And tell you that Jaime Tran, this article come from him, come from heavy.com, gives his name. The title, Jaime Tran, Pico shooting suspect, 5 facts you need to know. That's the name of the article. Jaime Tran is a former dental student accused of shooting Jewish men as they were leaving religious service in LA, Los Angeles. Jaime Tran is a former dental student accused of shooting Jewish men as they were leaving religious service at Los Angeles, California synagogues. According to a federal complaint, Tran is accused of. According to a federal complaint, Tran is accused of 2 shootings on February the 15th and 16th, 2023. The complaint also accused Tran of exhibiting a hatred of anti-Semitic comments, accusing him of texting, "Someone is going to kill you, Jay," and "I want you dead, Jay," also with a slew of other remarks, the complaint said. Well, he's saying, the J-E-W, he's saying that word, but no, he is. He threatened Jewish people. You can read the full criminal complaint in the case here. Before forwarding the language in, it is very graphic and disturbing as it accused Tran of making anti-Semitic comments to former dental student classmate. Before forwarding that language, and it is very graphic and disturbing as he before forwarding the language, it is very graphic and disturbing. It is accused Tran of making anti-Semitic comments to former dental school classmates. A press release emailed to Heavy, forming the U.S. Department of Justice, saying that Tran, 28, formerly lived in Riverside, California. These attacks against members of our Jewish community in the Pico-Robertson neighborhoods in the Pico-Robertson. These attacks against members of our Jewish community in the Pico-Robertson neighborhood are absolutely unacceptable. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bay said in a statement, "It is my understanding that both the Los Angeles Police Department and the FBI are investigating these incidents as hate crimes, so I want to be very clear. It is my understanding that both the Los Angeles Police Department and the FBI are investigating these incidents as a hate crimes, so I want to be very clear. Anti-Semitic and hate crimes have no place in our community or our county. Anti-Semitic and hate crimes have no place in our city or our community. Anti-Semitic statement has anti-Semitism and hate crimes have no place in our city or our county. Those who engage in either will be caught and held full accountable. At a time with this increase in anti-Semitic, these acts had understandably set communities on edge," she said. She added, "Just last December, I stood blocks away from where this incident had occurred as we celebrate the first night of Hanukkah. I stood blocks away as this incident occurred. I stood blocks away at a time where at a time of increased anti-Semitic, these acts have understandably set communities on edge," she said. "Just last December, I stood blocks away from where this incident occurred as celebrating the first night of Hanukkah together. Now my pledge to the Pico-Robertson community and to the city of Los Angeles as a whole is that we will fight this hatred vulgarity and work every day to defeat it." Over the past 2 days, our community experienced 2 horrific acts we believe were motivated by anti-Semitic ideology that caused him to target the Jewish community, said U.S. State Attorney United States Attorney Martin Estrada in the news release. "It is important, especially in one of the most diverse areas in the world, that we celebrate our differences and stand together to oppose acts of hate. Here's what you need to know." And it's going into, it's a short article and it goes into more the complaint accusing Jaime Tran, who said he was homeless, shooting a Jewish man who was getting into his car. Tran told police that he was homeless and living out of his car for 12 to 14 months. The complaint said he obtained the firearms from someone he did not know in Arizona. According to the federal complaint charging Tran with federal hate crimes, on February 15, 2023, Tran is accused of incidentally shooting the first victim at close range as the victim left religious service at a Los Angeles, California synagogue. The victim was in his 40s, according to ABC7. The victim was dressed in a manner that visibly identified his Jewish faith, especially a black hat and a head covering. The complaint said the victim was shot in the lower back but survived. The first victim said that he was leaving religious service at 9:45 a.m. a synagogue near the 1400 block of Sedan Street in Pico-Robertson neighborhood of Los Angeles. The complaint said as he was walking to his car, he was by a 1980s to 1990s Honda Civic, which drove up behind the driver's side of his car and then slowly moved up towards him. As he opened the door sides, he heard a loud bang, felt a sudden pain, and realized he had been shot, the complaint says. One thing it said, second victim was also dressed in a black cloth that visually identified him as faith as Jewish. And he was shot on February the 16th, 2023. Tran is accused of incidentally shooting the second victim who was just leaving a religious synagogue service a block away. The complaint said the second victim was also dressed in clothing that visually identified his Jewish faith. Again, a black jacket and a head covering. According to the complaint, was said that he was shot in the bicep but survived. This victim was in his 70s. ABC 7 report. Victim 2 told police he was leaving religious service at 8 a.m. near the 1600 block of South Bedford Street in the Pico-Robertson neighborhood, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, of Los Angeles. The complaint said, as the victim approached the intersection and was waiting to cross the street, he saw a dark colored sedan down the street and made eye contact with the driver. According to the complaint, he heard 3 loud shots and realized that he was shot. The complaint said the second victim only briefly saw the suspect, who had described as a male, white, approximately 30 to 35 years old, wearing a black hoodie sweatshirt, a black surgical mask, and black sunglasses, the complaint says. So he basically just targeted him. Then they got point 3 where it said that Jaime Tran was arrested with an AK-47 style rifle. No. It said Jaime Tran, who was arrested with an AK style firearm, researched cultural markets on social media, in the complaint says. So he was doing research. Tran was arrested on February 16, 2023 after he was accused of discharging a AK style firearm near a vehicle. The complaint said that Tran admitted that he shot the 2 victims after searching for a kosher marker on social media. Kosher foods are food that comfort the Jewish dietary religious. The complaint said Tran located a kosher market, drove to it, and then selected the victim because of their headgear, the complaint says. Now, this is number 4. Jaime Tran is accused of having a history of anti-Semitic conduct towards former dental school classmates, including calling Jewish people primates and sending them a picture of a gas chamber. Wow, this dude is sick. The complaint accused Tran of having a history of anti-Semitic and threatening conduct. In December 2022, he is accused of describing Jewish people as primate in emails to former classmates, the complaint said. He encouraged his classmates to blame any inconvenience or loss of revenue from the COVID-19 lockdowns on the Iranian Jews, the complaint said. Tran repeatedly called and texted a former dental school classmate who is Jewish. The complaint said he was added that Tran used to attend the school. That former classmate said Tran was expelled in 2018 and made anti-Semitic remarks before being expelled. The complaint said in 2022, Tran texted former classmate effing Jew, piece of F you, Jews. Whoa. The complaint, I ain't repeating the rest of it, but the complaint said it's also accused of writing effing you piece of you. I'm just gonna skip all that because it's a lot of stuff. I ain't trying to get no strikes on my channel no more anyway. I hate you like stupid, pathetic loser, subhuman trash, ugly, disgusting, worthless, senseless. You know what? The complaint said. Other similar threats was also written to the student, the complaint said, including I want you dead, you. Some is going to kill you. And so far, he is also accused of sending the former classmate a picture of a gas chamber written burn in a oven chamber you. In November 2022, he is accused of emailing dozens of former classmates at the same dental school written that Persian/Iranian Jews of the class of 2020 made up a fake BSZ and based it on an anesthesia incident that I had, the complaint said. He also sent a flyer of government officials with the word Jewish written next to their names, the complaint said. The complaint said that Tran titled an email important announcement to the school or auditory says the complaint was accused Tran of telling his classmate, if you ever inconvenience and or slash deny entry because of the masking policy or the proof of vaccine policy, you should be set up at the Iranian Jews. If you or a loved one's business lost revenue by the lockdowns, you should be upset at the Iranian dude. We all know the covert disease started in China in a wet market. And then when people, whoever came out of there traveling and everything, all contacting people, ignoring all rules, and also the WHO, the World Health Organization, covering up is how everything spread, because the CCC party paid them off. That's how it got spread. It's all the government organization that helped spread it. And this is 5. This is the last one. Tran is accused in a shots fired incident in Cathedral City. Officer obtained video footage that shows the suspect vehicle in the first shooting, according to the complaint. A Los Angeles police officer helping the investigation saw a male agent in his 30s wearing a surgical mask and a black hoodie, driving a dark gray Honda Civic, taking a photograph of the car, reviewing the video footage, and then obtaining the license plate, the complaint said. The vehicle was registered to Tran, the complaint said. Police then identified Tran's location through his mobile phone number and determined he was in the Palm Springs area, the complaint says. On February 16, 2023, at approximately 5:40 p.m., the Cathedral City Police Department received a call about a man with a gun in the area of Cathedral City, the complaint says. The calling party reported hearing a shot fired and seeing a man with a firearm near a Honda Civic. The police found Tran standing next to the driver's side door, the complaint says. On approaching the car, officers saw in plain view on the driver's side front seat a AK-style rifle, a .385 caliber handgun, consistent with the firearm believed to have been used in the shootings, based on a shell casing left at the scene, the complaint said. Officer also found a Sprint casing consistent with having been discharged from an AK-style rifle. In a recorded interview with the Los Angeles Police Department FBI agent, Tran admitted that he was responsible for shooting someone in the Los Angeles area earlier in that day. In a recorded interview with the Los Angeles Police Department and in a recorded interview with the Los Angeles Police Department and FBI agent, Tran admitted that he was responsible for shooting someone in the Los Angeles area in the day, and he said he decided to shoot someone in the area of the coastal market he looked up on Yelp, according to the complaint. He also acknowledged shooting the second victim, the complaint said. Tran told authorities he knew the victims were Jewish because of their headgear, the complaint says. And that's the end of the article. So basically, Tran target all of these people based on their religious faith. And you also remember back during when the pandemic happened, when the Asians were being attacked. I bet he was one of the Asians who went in there and started buying up all the guns. Remember, Asians was buying a lot of guns. They was talking about they were being attacked by the black community, which also was a false lie. So at that time, all them Asians brought all them guns, and Asian gun ownership spiked up. I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of them. I really wouldn't. And it's amazing how all these articles are covering all this up, and it's not wall to wall. And you saw the article where it said this just happened last month. This year, it was in February, in Black History Month. And nobody had wall-to-wall coverage of that. Nothing from the J community at all. But they have been black, they have been wall-to-wall covers. But you let me know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and share the video.